Hi, welcome back. This is Mrs. Hatterberg here with Geography for MNVA. We're going to start today's lesson with topic 1.3, the map case. The map case. You already know that geography encompasses more than maps, but maps are still an important part of this field of study. Map reading is one of the most important skills of a modern-day geographer. Take a minute to consider the ways that you already use maps. There are road maps, most likely, and probably a United States map or two, or 100, that you've seen in school. And of course, there's the globe. Stop and think about the other places where maps appear. Did you remember the mall? Malls have maps near the entrances and by the information desk. Want another minute to think about the places where you've recently seen maps? While you're at it, consider what maps can do for you. They are a crucial part of spatial thinking, letting you make and share records about where things are. They can help you plan a trip. Maps also let your imagination roam. Some people spend hours just looking at the globe, thinking about the places and people in this world. In this lesson, you're going to learn a lot about maps, from how to read them to who makes them and why they are important. If maps don't already play an important role in your life, they might soon. The objectives for this lesson are to describe the history of cartography, identify the basic types of purposes of maps, and find locations and information using maps. We'll start here with 1.3, Study 1. Pictures of the world. There are many ways to see the world around you. One way is to look out the window. Think about what you see when you look out the window or look down from a high place. But that's not the only way to see the world around you. Instead of looking out the window, go to the internet and find a mapping website. MapQuest is one of the several that are available. I suggest Google Maps or Google Earth. Now type in the address of your location. This exercise makes the basic point about maps, that many people overlook. A map is a picture of the world, nothing more and nothing less. Compared with what you see out your window, a map gets rid of most of the information so that you can concentrate on what you need to know. Not only that, but maps can convey information that you can't see out the window. Things like political boundaries, historical themes, population traits, and so on. Now you're going to learn a lot of different maps that provide special pictures of the world. You will also learn the basics of cartography, but first you need to explore the basics of how to read a map. Study 1.3, Study 1, Section 1. Maximizing maps. Before you learn about the specific details of what is on a standard map, it is a good idea to know a little bit more about what goes into the planning stages of map making. This would be a good one for you to log on and listen to on your own because, again, the audio is not going to convey over the video. Hierarchy and balance. Once the basic questions about future maps are answered, the task remains to actually produce the maps. All maps consist of certain elements, but not all of these elements are equally important. When considering how to lay out the map, cartographers have determined the importance of different elements and prioritize their placement on the map. This involves creating a hierarchy of elements. Hierarchy is a fundamental principle of cartography. Put simply, the most important parts of a map should be featured in a more prominent position and occupy larger areas of the map. Another important principle is balance. The idea to distribute the elements as evenly as possible within the frame of the map to avoid crowded areas or empty spaces. Not all maps follow the principles of hierarchy and balance, but then again, not all maps are easy to read. When these principles are followed, a comprehensible and useful, even beautiful map results. How many flaws can you see in this map? The more time you spend looking at it, the more flaws you'll be able to find. Page 3. Organizing map elements. You've seen some of what cartographers have to consider when they construct a new map. Here you can see how these ideas get put together to produce a complete map. First of all, there's the title. The most important information on a map should be featured near the top or to the left of the map because that's where a human's eyes naturally go first. The title is large and clear, occupying the upper left. Map insets give greater detail on important areas of the main map. This information is larger and occupies the left side, an area that shows priority. Again, remember, think of reading. When you read from left to right. So the things that you want to emphasize or have a higher importance are going to appear on the left side of the map. So you're giving importance to this inset. The map elements should be distributed as evenly as possible to avoid overcrowding or large blank areas. For this reason, the legend for this map is placed in the Indian Ocean, which is otherwise empty for the purposes of this map. As you can see here, all the important information for this map is over on this side. So that's why they've spaced out the legend and put it on this side. Page 4. Principles of cartography. Here is a little review so you can check your answers and see if you're understanding the concepts. Page 5. Finding your way around. Now that you know the basic map terminology, it's time to apply this knowledge. You know what a compass and scale are used for, and you know the design elements that make a useful map. But what can you do with this information? How can you use title, compass, legend, scale, and symbols to extract useful information from a map? And I don't know why this says no audio. That's false. This actually does have audio, so this would be a good one for you to check out on your own as well. Page 6. The world of maps. By reading the title and looking at the legend, you might be able to figure out what kind of map you have. There are many kinds of maps, including physical, political, and topographic. Each offers a very specialized picture of the world, and each is used for different purposes. The basic types of maps. There's physical maps. Usually you can tell these ones right away because a lot of times they are in various shades of green and brown. Physical maps represent the natural features of a territory. Colors and symbols used to indicate the locations of physical features such as mountains, deserts, forests, lakes, rivers, and as well as elevations above and below the sea level. So notice that there are titles here where the various countries appear, but we don't see political boundaries on this map. We are only seeing the physical aspects of the land. Page 2. The basic map types, political maps. Political maps show boundaries that divide countries, states, and counties. They also show the locations of towns, cities, and capitals. Star symbol is often used to show the capital city, but not always. Different colors are used for different territories, as in this map that shows the subject country, Kyrgyzstan, in yellow and the surrounding countries in green, orange, and tan. Political maps generally contain a small amount of physical information as well, such as the locations and names of rivers and lakes and prominent landmarks. The basic types of maps, topographic maps. A topographic map is designed to represent three-dimensional characteristics of land surfaces in a two-dimensional format. This can be done in several ways. One is with contour lines. This is on the left, so you can see little kind of rings that show the various elevation that go around and around. This can show different elevations down to a fine level of detail. Another method uses color coding to the right. Although the primary purpose of the topographic map is to represent the actual rises and dips in terrain, these maps typically show both natural and man-made features. So we can see here where they just use colors to shade in. So sometimes the colored one I feel is a little easier to read than a normal topographic map with all these lines. And this one's probably easier to create. So you might see this one more often than you actually see and use one of these topographic maps. A thematic map. Thematic says it right in the word, theme. Thematic map shows the distribution of something other than natural or man-made features. Unlike physical or political maps, which show a full range of natural or man-made features, thematic maps generally emphasize only one or two attributes. This map shows the distribution of language around the world. There's a great variety of thematic maps available. Just about any subject you can think of can be turned into a thematic map. So if you wanted to know one specific item, so you can see here world's language families and all the different groupings here, the colors throughout the world. Cartograms. I love cartograms. They are so much fun to look at. Cartograms are special thematic maps that are scaled to show some variable other than land area. For example, this cartogram, can you guess what this is? This actually shows the United States. Can you kind of make it out now? Here's Michigan, here's Florida, here's Texas right here, okay, here's the East Coast. But its counties are scaled to represent not their physical area, but their population. The two colors represent the results of the popular vote in the 2004 presidential election. So this cartogram represents the variables of population and voting behavior rather than physical area. The purpose of the cartogram is to provide different, non-physical perspective on a territory. Okay, so let's just look at this one a little closer, again, because my favorite is cartograms. So the bigger a county is means the more population. So they make the size of the county for this cartogram based on the population. So then they color it as in blue or red so you can get a better overview, because usually when we see a normal United States maps with each one colored red or blue versus based on who they voted for in the election, it'll look like all red and just a little blue, or all blue and just a little red. But when you do it like this and you can make them based on the population, it gives a much better picture of how voting was actually spread across the country. Special purpose maps. The special purpose maps are designed to help people accomplish specific tasks. This map of the New York City subway system shows riders how to get from one station to another to anywhere in the system. As with thematic maps, the key is particularly important of special purpose maps. On this map, the key provides detailed information about the stations, different types of train service. Notice that this map has no scale. The drawing is a distortion of the size and shape of the territory depicted. This is a feature that many special purpose maps share, since it's an accurate visual representation of distance is often unnecessary for the map's purpose. You don't really need to know how far you're traveling, how long you're traveling on the train. You just need to know the various stops, and then you can kind of estimate about how much time it will be between stops. All right, and page 7, the right map for the job. Now that you know what different maps look like, it's time to see how well you understand their purposes. Please log on to page 7 so you can quiz yourself. Again, please contact me on Skype or by Kmail if you have any questions on the various types of maps. Bye!